Don't you dare move. 212-219-9695. That's actually a good song for you, Heshy. I like it. It's powerful. Yeah. How are you?
Okay, Ralph. Thank you for letting me come back. And thanks for all the people who will be listening to my show. I'd like to thank you for helping me out again this hour. And my beautiful son, Avram, who's here handling the cameras and the YouTube portion of the show. Thank you, Avram. And I'm so proud of my son because he shaved and he made me happy.
Oh, he took off the beard. I grew the beard. He took it off. And by the way, let's say where they can find it on Twitter. On Twitter, say everything that we need to say at the start.
You can find the show on the Just Enough Heshy Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube and type in Just Enough Heshy, and the show will come up. Or you can just go to Twitter again, type in Just Enough Heshy, and the links are on all the sites, and you just click on it, and I'll just pop right up, and you'll be able to watch the show live or listen to everything. And again, everybody, you can call in for any question that you want to ask me at 212-219-9695. And Ralph, I like those last words you said on your show. This is a no-holds-barred game.
That's great.
And I'm going to open this show very plain and simple. I am running for the council seat district of the 44th district in Brooklyn. I have two young men running against me. And I'm very disappointed with a lot of things that is going on with one of my competitors. I'm happy that one of them has liked some of my ideas. They're listening to my ideas. They're trying to bring it out, Ralph. For example, my competitor, my opponent, Kalman Yeager, very nice young man. He liked, he's working on my idea of moving the traffic along and the parking idea. He used part of my idea, and which I'm happy they're listening to. At least somebody will implement, or other people will join in on my idea. Again, I want to bring it up that my parking idea is to take the cars off the streets. And how do you do it? You just can't ban the cars in the neighborhood. I don't like that portion of the idea. My idea is to create a park and ride system. I'm still going to let you. I still want you, not let you. I still want you to drive through the area. I still want you to pick up and drop off stuff. But to ease the congestion, we're going to create a massive parking lot in the center of the district for the Flatbush and the Borough Park communities. It'll be also part of the Bensonhurst area because it'll be near the Bay Parkway area. But what you're going to do is you're going to park your car. I'm going to create at least 4,000 spots. And one of my people are still trying to figure out a way to do more. I'm going to take all the buses off the streets and make them park there at night to create a few more hundred parking spots. And this is the ideas that I have. I have many different ideas. And I've been pushing the ideas. I've been telling the people the ideas. So if you have any more ideas, by the way, my cell number, and I like the idea again that Ralph gave it out, is 718-288-7844. Text me, call me, leave a voicemail. I'll call you back. I'll listen to your ideas. I'll try to see if they work out. But now I want to talk about some other ideas. First of all, I hope, I forgot to tell everybody, I hope you all had a great holiday. I had a lot of guests by us. We had a great, beautiful time. My nephews, my nieces, my sons came over. So I had a great time. I hope all of you had a great time. And I hope all of you had a blessed and holiday week. I want to begin with a little prayer that I do every morning. And what we do is Ralph, when the first prayer we teach our children when they're able to start talking, and the one that I remember, and I say it every day, all of us do. It's a prayer called Moda'ani. The prayer is a very simple prayer. Thank you, God, for giving me back my soul. So everybody says, oh, that's it? That's the whole prayer? Yes, God, thank you for not only giving me back my soul, faith in me that I will do good another day, even though I messed up the day before, even though I shouldn't be entitled to another shot at it. Mm-hmm. Thank you, God, Moda'ani. Thank you, God, for giving me back my soul to give me another shot at doing good. Everybody says, well, there's a whole bunch of tomorrows, a million tomorrows. But you know what? There's only one today. And today's the day that I want to work on it. Everybody tells me, think out of the box. No. I'm thinking in the box. The problems are in the box. I'm not looking for ideas for 2 years or 5 years down the line. Right now is where the issues of my community are at stake now. Right now, my people don't have the housing. Right now, my people need jobs. Right now, my people have parking issues. And again, I have so many other issues that I could solve. Recently there was my competitor, the Jewish press had a debate set for October the 18th. We've been prepping it, emailing it, preparing for it. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money, your staff, everybody working with you on it. All of a sudden, the Jewish press cancels. First of all, I'm upset with them. You know, get your act together. You're a professional operation. You're a professional newspaper. Why aren't you blaming the competitor that messed it up? Yes, I am complaining my competitor. Why? I can. Very simple. I have the emails. Why didn't you cooperate? Why wasn't this a simple sit down to work out our issues, to get up on a debate and talk? Are you scared of me? Do you really know that I know more than you? I know you're a young man and I am more knowledgeable in a lot of the things. And I'm not knocking you. You're a good boy. I mean, you've spoken on the radio that you've met a lot of politicians in the past and you know everything. I don't know what that means. You got to get your hands dirty. You've got to go out there and pay your taxes. I understand that it's been hard for you, and if you need a better job, that's why I'm around. I'll get you one. But being a councilman, Yoni, I don't know. I'm not. I thought about it a little bit. I thought maybe you did have a shot at this, but no, I don't think you have a shot at this. I believe that you're not qualified for the job, and I don't want to knock you, but if people want to listen to your ideas, and let me give you the first idea. You want to have a guy who goes out in the middle of the street to vacuum our streets. I know the other towns and cities do it. Are you really kidding me? With 150,000 people living in our community, you're going to go vacuum our streets? You want to stop alternate side of street parking? Ralph, I want to tell you something. Yesterday, I was in a car accident. I was going maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour, very slow. The double parked cars on a big avenue, 18th Avenue, was my fault. Don't get me wrong. I told the police, I told the other guy it was my fault. I hit his car, I broke my tire, but I touched his car, dropped. I think I knocked off his hubcap and I touched a little bit of his door. Not much. It was a very nice man, very cooperative, no arguments. We waited for the police. The police were very nice about it. And they came over to me. I said, yes, it's my fault. Here's my responsibility. The guy swerved in front of me. I swerved the car, dropped to try to avoid it, and I take responsibility. Now, this is a small, itty bitty fender bender. You're telling me that you're going to be sweeping under my car, knocking me or touching or giving me an oil leak or banging just a little dent, and you're not going to freak out. The police are going to be running all over my neighborhood all day long, making police reports, fighting the sanitation. Unacceptable. I'm very upset about the plan in itself, that they might even think about implementing such a plan. So let's get that out of the way. I know there will be a debate, supposedly October 28th by Hamadia. I hope that's not canceled. I'd like you people to see me live. I'd like you people to see me in action with my plans. And I'm still working. I'm still doing my regular day job. I'm still getting people in their homes. I'm still helping people with their permits and their violations and teaching them how to be in compliance. I haven't taken a day off. I put in 14 hours a day. Then I put in extra hours with the campaigning. But the campaigning is not so important. I want people to know who I am, and I want people who need the help to get to me. I've never advertised my business, and people still find a way to get to me when they have issues. By the way, this show tonight, I have a few people that I like to introduce. My friend and a very nice business by the name of Pescada, a restaurant on Avenue P and East 5th Street. They have one on Avenue M and Ocean Avenue, and this guy on East 5th Street, he now turned it to one is a dairy restaurant on Avenue M, and the one on East 5th Street it became meat. Wonderful food. I got to take you there, Ralph. I'm begging you to come. You got to come for this kosher.
Oh, yeah.
You're going by the time you finish with the desserts, you're going to be telling me, Heshy, I'm not leaving.
Maybe Sunday. How about Sunday?
Sunday's always a good day. You come to my neighborhood, and I will show you a meal that I think you might be moving into.
Because Saturday the streets are.
Saturday the streets are. No, you can't come.
You don't even know there are people there, right?
You can't come. You can't come. And also, I have another place that I'd like to mention on my show. That is the which one? Best Desserts?
Best Desserts.
DESS
Best Desserts.
You can find it in your local groceries. DESS Desserts. Wow. I tried it. My friend Getzer gave it to me. Wonderful. I'm telling you, I'm gonna. I know that you don't have the kosher food, Ralph, but this is
No, but
just
I'll give it a
wonderful stuff.
shot. I'll give it a
Now,
shot.
I'd like to talk about some other little things that are irritating me and bothering me.
Okay.
Our councilman created a trailer to send to Puerto Rico, and I mentioned this a week ago already, and 2 weeks ago. The trailer is still sitting there. The food is rotting or getting hot in the heat. The Pampers and the women products, who knows what's going on there, if there are roaches or cockroaches or something going in there. It's sitting there a month. And I know that it's a project that we're trying to send down to Puerto Rico. I have a friend of mine, a rabbi from Franklin Lakes by the name of Hanuk Kaplan. The man has an organization, he has a school, he has a synagogue, he had to prepare for the Jewish holidays. And what happened? The man sent 2 airplanes to Puerto Rico already. 2 airplanes of food to Puerto Rico to take care of the people there. My competitor, Yoni Heiken, what did he do? He says, let's send money to Felix Ortiz to send to Puerto Rico. Why are we not making a Kiddush Hashem and reorganizing it? You know, I like Masbia. But that trailer's sitting there. Why is it still sitting there? I mean, by the time that it gets to Puerto Rico will be back up. I mean, I do hope that will happen soon. And I know it's a struggle there. But come on, David Greenfeld, are we doing the same thing like we did with the parks? Spending money, waiting for 2 years later to open it up when it's not possible? These are the things that are not getting done in my neighborhood. Things in my community that need to get pushed forward and 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 introduced into our community that we could get things done and I could get things done. By the way, I'm going to be getting an interview with a famous Jewish reporter to be discussing all of my issues by the name of Jacob Kornbluth, and he will be interviewing me, I'm hoping this week, to review all of my ideas, and you're going to see that interview, and I hope you enjoy that as well, and at least you'll be able to listen to part of my plans. Um, Now, again, I want to talk about my issue with the housing. I love parks. I do love it. Common, it's not a bad thing to have parks in the neighborhood. But if we have open land, we have available land, we've got to create housing. We've got to create, and yes, we'll force them into parking because it's anyways there. But we've got to create more housing for our kids. We've got to create jobs for our children. Again, I told it to one of my people, and somebody mentioned it to me as well. There's something called the gig network. You ever heard of that?
I have. Tell the people what
The
exactly
gig
that is.
network is a place that if you need a job, you go onto this website and they have little gigs for you. It's called a gig, which is a job. You can do a couple of lines of computer programming for people. You can drive an Uber for a week or two. And these jobs pay serious money if you're any good at what you're doing. And it's a real site. We have to introduce ways to get our people into getting them jobs, to bring home money, to make it better. My son this Sunday took his SAT test. You know what that is, to get into college.
Sure.
And my son is graduating high school. I'm preparing for college. I'm preparing for his job for the future. I'm preparing the education. I'm not asking you kids to go to college, but there are ways to be ready, to be prepared for the future. We have to be ready for these kids, like my son, who's 17 years old. He's turning 18 in next summer. What is he going to do when he comes out of high school? What is he going to do when he finishes college? We've got to think of the future. We've got to be worried about these kids 4 years down the line. We've got to be worried about apartments that are way outpriced, and we need to have our children to be able to afford these apartments. And no, I don't want my children going to live in Jersey. I don't want my children to go live in Long Island. I want them to live near us like all good parents. You know, people all tell me all the time, well, you're going to lead us. You're going to show us. You're our hero. Be a hero. No, no, no. I'm your guide. And I'm going to keep mentioning it to you. I'm not your partner. I'm not your leader. I'm your guide. You know, the heroes are the fathers, are the mothers, are the brothers, are the people who take care of their mothers, who take care of their children. These are the people that put 20, 30, 40 years into their families, you know, and these are the people that need our help sometimes. Their children have to look up to them. They don't have to look up to me. They have to be, say, pops, mommy, help me. And they have to be able to come through and help them. By having them stuck there, it's not good. And they sometimes need to be guided. They need an apartment. You know, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that we rented an apartment to a young couple. People were coming to me in the tens, in the dozens, maybe 100 families, 8 kids, 6 kids, 5 kids. What do you mean you have nowhere to go? They're living in one-bedroom apartments, Ralph. One-bedroom apartments. That is a terrible, terrible a waste of time, and I'm very upset about stuff like that. That we're not helping our kids.
All right, we have a call. Let's grab it.
Go ahead, please.
Press that top thing twice, and you're on the air. What's happening, caller?
Hi.
Hi.
Speak to Yehuda.
Sure. What's your name?
Yehuda from Willie.
Yehuda, what's your question?
I want to know what time is the meeting?
What meeting?
The debate you're going to have.
Well, as of now, the Jewish press canceled our debate on October the 18th because Yoni just couldn't cooperate. Yes, I'm blaming it on him. And I did speak to Kalman a couple of times. We were working together to try to get this together. And he was uncooperative. And maybe he didn't physically back out, but being not cooperative means that the Jewish press did not have all three candidates on the same page. And I'm telling you, with the emails that I've sent forward that I've gotten, I'm just unhappy. And I believe that maybe Yoni was scared to debate. I listened to Yoni's show, Yehuda, and sometimes I hear him talking on the show and he's laughing and giggling and talking about stuff. This is not a kid's game. This is not a game. We're dealing with people's lives. We're dealing with adults. We're dealing with families.
Do you feel your opponent's not taking it very seriously?
I believe that he's not taking it seriously.
That's surprising.
There were pictures posted on all the WhatsApp groups recently, and one of our district leaders, a young man, 22 years old. I understand he's a kid. He's a young man. I don't know how he got to be district leader. Again, his father pushed him in to be district leader without any experience. And this sukkah, he made a sukkah. He lives in Borough Park, but he created his sukkah in Williamsburg out of our district. I don't know, maybe you didn't want to invite me because I'm a competitor, but still, I'm one of your constituents, Mr. David Schwartz. If I'm one of your constituents, you should invite all of us. Instead, he invited 5 non-Jewish, and I have no problem with you, Ralph, even though you're a guy, But you could come to this
appreciate that.
But he invited the 5 non-Jewish political people to his sukkah to take a picture with Yoni. Now, first he should have taken it with all of us, but I know he's supporting Yoni. One, he took it out of the district. I don't get it. You're making a sukkah for what? You're supposed to do it for the celebration of the Sukkot holiday. This is not a political event. I did do a Simchas basis shaver myself. I made a little sukkah. I invited a lot of people to come eat and drink and meet me over there. And I didn't bring any politicians to it. I just wanted you to come by, say hello, talk to me, don't talk to me, dance with me. I was dancing on the street with a couple of young guys. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was having a good time,
Yehuda, anything to follow up?
Now, listen, actually, we all miss you. Ever going to have another radio program like you did down below you?
Hey, this is it. This is your radio program every Monday here for the next 4 weeks.
Every Monday for the next 4 weeks. And when I get elected, I will continue running the show and making sure that you know the issues. And if you need something, I will take it up and I will bring it up. And I'm not scared to talk about serious issues. And I'm not scared to come up with ways to solve these issues. And I've had ideas that nobody's made fun of them. And I'm very serious. And, stopping alternate side of street parking is a good idea. But how? Just telling me that you're stopping it without a plan. I do have a plan to stop alternate side of street parking. We know that the street cleaner is needed to clean your streets. If the street cleaner is not coming, there's no reason to move my car. You're right, the street's going to be dirty. But if the guy is not coming to clean the street anyways, don't move my car. And if I'm not moving my car because the street cleaner is not coming, don't give me a ticket. Now, we have GPS on all the snow trucks and all the shoveling trucks. Let's instead of buying new machinery to start sweeping under our cars, why don't we put GPS on this? Everybody whose blocks are supposed to be alternate side of the street parking or clean that day, let them tie into the thing and see when the truck is coming. If the truck is coming, he has time to run into his house and pick up some food or his kids and then move his car. The sanitation policeman that follows the street sweeper, he'll give the ticket. Or, like the buses have the cameras, put a camera into the street sweeper. When you're blocking him, and at the time he gets there, he pushes a button and you get a ticket.
Caller, what's your name, caller?
Mr. Heshy and Ralph. This is Naja from New York.
Naja, what's on your mind? What's your question for Hesh?
Well, I want to say Tavoda Baruch to Mr. Heshy for having courage to run for office and being a guide for people in New York and in Brooklyn, because that takes courage. And I just
Are you familiar with the neighborhood? Naja, do you go to that neighborhood at any time?
Yes. it's the new New York City. And I'm glad that somebody who seems ethical in my book is going to run for office, because it's encouraging that there's hope for the government. And I remember first hearing Mr. Heshy with you.
Thank you, Naja. Thank you so much. You know, Naja, I am proud of the. Don't get me wrong. I might have been knocking some of Yoini's ideas, my competitor Yoini Heiken, and but my opponents, Kalman and Yoini, two young men in their 30s. I'm proud of them. I'm happy that they're running, showing that they also have the courage to stand up and to get ridiculed or screamed at or to argue. I like anybody who gets up and says, "Listen, it's time for me to lead the community." You know, today somebody was sitting in my office, and he's doing a wonderful job. He's helping to create a ritual bath for women. It's for the Jewish women. They need these special baths, and him and his group of people are building this a multi-million-dollar thing to make it nicer, to make it cleaner. And he says, "Heshy, why do you need it? We need you here. We need you to help us. Why are you giving up this job to go do this?" And I said to him very simple. I said, his name was David. I said, "David, I need to do more. I want to do more. Till my last dying breath, I will do more. I will never give up. Whether I win or lose the election, which I know I will win, I will be there. I was always serving my community. I always try to call my councilman or my assemblyman when they take my calls. But I get upset with them, and I want them to call back. You know, everybody gets nervous with me when I talk about children and children's rights and education. I know that the parents are very nervous about stuff like this. We don't have the time always to sit with our children and do the homework with them, so we give them to our schools. We give them to our teachers to trust them. And I used to go to my son's school all the time, every Sunday, made sure that the teachers and the rabbis knew who I was, always knocked on their door. You know, about 20 years ago, there was a young lady who gave her son to a rabbi. She wasn't religious. She gave her son to a rabbi to give him a better education. And what happened was the rabbi took the child, made him religious. The mother wanted him back. And the rabbi said, "No, I'm not giving him back to you because we don't like the way you're going to raise him. We've made him religious. You can't take him back." The mother says, "He's my kid. He's 13, 14 years old." The rabbi took him, sent him to Israel, kidnapped him, whatever. They ended up sending the rabbi to Israel. You know what? A guy like this should be punished, because if he took my child, and yes, I'm going to tell it to you on the radio, that guy would not be standing. I don't care. With 19 police officers, this 400-pound man was going to go back. Yeah, I'm taking my boy back. And you know what? My competitor's father, Joe Heiken, went to visit him in jail. Went to comfort him. You don't comfort a man like who kidnaps a child or takes a child. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no excuses on this.
Caller, what's on your mind? What's your name? Caller, are you there? Did you pop him up? Just press that top button twice. All right, we
lost the caller. No problem. So these are issues that I love. I'm very careful of my children. I'm very nervous in the yeshivas. I want the yeshivas to be more teaching our teachers and rabbis to be more educated. I want them to watch the children. Go ahead. You got a caller? Take it.
What's on your mind, caller? What's your name?
Moshe Friedman.
All right, Moshe, what's your question?
Moshe, right? Let me say hello. Moshe, how are you, my brother? How are you? I love you. You're a good man, a friend of mine.
Moshe, speak up, Moshe. Are you there?
Did you hang up on him? Moshe, call back. Oh, how did you hang up on my friend, Moshe? He's not going to be happy with me. No good. No good.
Go ahead.
Again, I want cameras in the classrooms. We have cameras on the street. Today I was driving down Ocean Parkway and I saw the flashing 27 miles. They even know how fast I'm going, 2 miles over the speed limit. I'm all nervous about stuff like this, getting tickets. They know how to track me by GPS. They know how to follow me and see how fast I'm going. We need to do more for our children. We have to be prepared for the next generation. They're going to be the future leaders. They're going to be the future fathers. They're the ones that will be taking care of us. And I want them to be ready. I don't want them the last minute to be thrown into the hole and say, "Here, go into the world of your own." No, I'm not putting them in basements. I want good housing for them. I want good stuff for them. Caller, is that my buddy Moshe?
We got your Moshe. Is that you?
Moshe, is that you?
Yes, how are you?
I'm sorry we hung up on you. I know you're going to beat me up later for that.
I think Moshe hung up on himself. Moshe, what's your question?
No question. I told him that I love his idea about the sweepers. He should talk more about that. That's a great idea that people shouldn't get tickets only through the sweeper truck.
Let me ask you something. How many times have you gotten a ticket where you're just parking in front of your own building or house there? You have to put the car somewhere. How big of a problem is that?
It's a very, very big problem. Heshy, I want to point out something to you that's very important. You're a smart man and your listeners are very smart.
Go ahead, boys.
I want to ask you a question. But let's talk seriously. How much do you think is the average person in Borough Park? How old do you think is an average man in Borough Park?
I believe like the average man is around 40 years old, in the 40s.
How many kids do you think an average family has?
I believe an average family, a nice family right now, they range between 3 and 5 kids. That what I've seen. There are bigger families, there are smaller ones, but they average between 3 and 5 kids, in my neighborhood.
And I hear, and let me ask you something, people to support themselves. And I don't want to talk about the 1% and the 2% of the rich people that really struggle to make their ends meet. How many jobs do you think you got to keep up to be able to make ends meet?
There's no question you need 2 jobs. When I was struggling, I had 2 jobs in the morning. I had one at night, and sometimes I took extra work on the weekends. Yes, you need 2 jobs minimum. There's no question, Mosh. These guys are working 2 jobs.
Heshy, you pay tuition? How much do you think tuition is for people?
I want you to know, people make fun of me on this, and there are people paying much, much more. I'm lucky, but I'm just telling you, with the grants, with the fighting, Mushy, with crying and sitting in the schools, even when you're making money, you're paying between $10,000 and $15,000 a month. You're not getting lunch, and you're not getting bus service. And if they forget to give you the train pass, or it comes a week later, you're paying another $10 or $15 for the week for the kid to get to school. Add that up over another 10 or 15 weeks, that adds up.
How much does an average person, you think, pay rent? On a 2-bedroom, on a 3-bedroom? What do you think they pay rent a year?
Rent in my neighborhood, Ballpark, Flatbush, $2,500 a month, $2,400 a month, a good $25,000, $30,000. That's more than people make in a salary, okay? Just don't tell me $10 an hour you're making. You're paying $25,000 a year rent, $30,000 a year rent. I know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you think? Food, do you think, is an expensive expense by people with kids?
If you have guests with kids, you're looking at, Moshe, you're going to make fun of me on this one, and I know you're not going to be happy with what I tell you. I'm telling you $15,000 a year on food. And you're looking at, what is that? Not even, it's a little bit more than $1,000 a month. If you break it down to like $250 a week, really, what can you buy? That's not going out for dinners or takeouts. $250 a week. Go try to buy bread, milk, and eggs. And besides, you buy the chicken and meats and the challahs for the weekend. Your money is gone, and you're not talking a great meal, just enough to get yourself by, Mosh.
You know what's extraordinary? The average family is between 3 and 5 children. And you're in that area, 3 and 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have more. We have bigger families.
I know, but you're saying average?
Average families. I'm going very low. Moshe knows I'm being very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Moshe?
Well, no, he's gone.
No, why? Why is he gone?
Oh, but you want him to?
Oh,
you want him more?
He was doing very good with me. He was asking me questions. But Moshe, don't hang up on me. Why do you keep hanging up on my boy Moshe?
I think he hung up on himself the first time.
Look at the questions.
All right, Moshe, you have carte blanche. You can call back.
Look at the questions Moshe asked me. Look at it. Simple. We have before we were even able to do anything major with I've gone on vacation, fix up our apartment, buy an extra piece of clothing or shoe for our children. What did we spend already? We spent $50,000 between food and education and rent. We didn't even have a chance to do anything. We're working 2 jobs. Our children are coming home at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We're working another job. Who's going to watch our children? We don't want them on the street. Mm-hmm. This is terrible. We didn't even talk about health insurance. Did I even mention that
Let's talk about it.
Okay, health insurance, even if the government gives it to you, you're still paying money out of your pocket each time you show up. You think $40, $50 every time you go to the doctor, and that's just the I forgot what it's called, but it's just when you walk in there, you know what I mean? You have to give this fee. It's a copay.
You're right. The initial visit is extremely expensive.
And then you have a $1,500 deductible even before you get anywhere.
Yes.
So you're talking that we're not we're not being concerned with the issues in the box. We're thinking about the future parks that we're going to build. We're thinking about sweepers that we're going to be doing in the next 5 or 10 years or testing. We're going to be bringing in experimental programs. I'm not interested in the experimental programs, my children and friends and neighbors. I'm interested today, my issues. I am very stuck right now. I am a community member. I am a constituent. Yes, David Schwartz, I am disappointed I wasn't invited to your sukkah. I am one of your people. And yes, you know what? I did order a permit for the street, by the way, to do an event right now. And 30 days later, I didn't get it. But my senator got it 1, 2, 3 to have a whole event on the street, close up 7, 8 blocks. Yes, it was a holiday weekend, very nice. Closed up 2 main true traffics of Avenue. I just wanted a little bit of a sidewalk. I can't seem to get a permit. Why? Because of the red tape and because nobody's cooperated or listening. I am going to change my community board. If I'm able to fire them or change them, I will do so. If I am able to fight with my other 51 councilmen and get rid of these commissioners and change these guys from the top and say, listen, boys, you're going to sit down and you're not going to be worried about your jobs or your pensions or you're out of here. You're going to be worried about my constituents, my people in the city of New York, my people that are hungry and starving. I know how many families at nighttime are having issues. How come we don't have youth care programs? How come we don't have 20 aftercare programs? You know, I'm so proud of my neighborhood. I've been going to school in Borough Park since I'm 5 years old. I'm in the neighborhood almost 50 years. Okay, I've been living here for a little over 30-something years. I am proud of what we've accomplished. I'm proud of my fellow neighbors. I'm so proud what they've accomplished. At every block we have schools and synagogues, and we're good to our neighbors. Go ahead, put that call on.
Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? What's your question?
Yeah, I got.
All right, Moishe, go ahead. Well, you were going pretty well. Lay on some more questions on Heshy. Go ahead.
Heshy.
Yeah, my brother.
So I'm simply asking, there's a couple of guys running. You're running, Kalman is running, Yoni is running. You lay out so nicely how much it costs to live, what they need. Don't you think that a councilman, in order to understand us, must live this life?
Yes.
We have a candidate that's almost 40 years. You say that an average have 3 to 5 kids, he has 0 kids. He has 0 jobs. He was never able to keep a job. He made a yeshiva, they closed it down. He had a job in the state, sitting in the state assembly, he can't keep his job. He never paid $1 rent. He lives in his father's basement. He doesn't understand what tuition is all about. I'm just trying to understand, are we really going to vote for someone that has living on his own? I'm just trying to understand. It's very nice to try to get him a top job. Well, it's beautiful that his father's ready to do it, but on whose account?
Exactly. I'm not. I don't want to.
On our account, his father's ready to give him a job.
Well, Moshe, I don't want to say anything personally about him. I agree with you that in my community, you need somebody with experience. You need somebody who has the children, like you said, who has heads on, who has paid the rent, who has paid tuition. And yes, I'm disappointed with Doe because he controls our community. I've been to support somebody else. I know that you want the job, and hey, when you retire next year, hopefully you will. You can then put Yoni up for your position. Let him work in your office a little bit. Let him pay some taxes or whatever he has to do. But this job is not for him. This job is for me. This job is for me, and I know that I'm qualified to do the job. I know the job. I know the people, Moshe. I know my neighbors. Most people in the community know me. I know the stores. Going around taking pictures with the rabbis and taking pictures of other politicians does not make you qualified for the job. You're right, Moshe. I don't have an answer for you, and that's why I'm running. I wasn't happy with what I saw up there, and I wanted to show the people, listen, you have an option. You like the other guy's ideas and you really believe you can implement it, fine. I know that not only am I qualified, not only are my ideas, do they make sense, not only have I helped get through the red tape and have worked with many of the different agencies in the city of New York, but I'm here. I'm the one for the last 40 years that has paid tuition, has raised a family of 3 children plus 20 other kids coming through my house, has volunteered to many of the different programs. I don't take a picture just loading a truck. I actually load cars and boxes and trucks every single week, and not for the last 2 days, Moishi, for the last 20-something years. I hear what you have to say, and I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Heshy, I love you. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and I wish you success.
Thank you, Moishi. You're a wonderful man. Thank you for asking your question. Appreciate the time the time that you took out for me. So here, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to accomplish in our neighborhood. I want to do it as a team, but not as a team that you think that I'm going to force you to be my partner. You need help. I'm here to join you. I'm here to guide you. I'm going to find a way to make things better. As I keep saying all the time, I want to create a social contract with my community to make a better life for my people. That's my deal. That's the promise I'm going to make. I can't do more than that. I'm going to promise to work tirelessly through the neighborhoods. I'm going to promise tirelessly to be on the streets. I won't be going to Israel or on 90 vacations. People make fun of me. Oh, Heshy, you've had a last couple of good years. Yes, I'm entitled to some of the money that I've made the last year or two to spend it on my family. I don't run away all the time. Sometimes I go away for a weekend upstate or whatever it is. But my point that I tried to make to you is that I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always findable. Like I told you, my cell number is 718-288-7844. You can email me anytime you want, and I always return the emails. My business, Green Line Building Solutions, we've helped thousands. I'm not talking hundreds now, Ralph. I'm talking in the thousands of people, in the thousands of homes I've gone to. It's by the way, if you need any help or any building problems, 718-871-0382, 718-871-0382. Yes, we're busy. Yes, we can't always pick up the phone. Leave a message, leave an email. We'll call you back. We're there. We know how to get back to you. We know how to solve the little itty bitty problems, the bigger problems. Today, somebody called me, oh, Heshy, what you did for me, you saved me, you won my violation. No, I did what the right was needed to be done. My job, what everybody asks me, Ralph, what do you do for a living?
Right.
Expediter, architect, plumber, contractor. My job is to help people. And the goal of my job is to take what was wrong and make it right. Whoever was wronged, to try to make them right. That's what I do. Whether you're standing in my hospital, in my Maimonides hospital, where I get upset that something they keep you 2, 3, 4 hours for sitting there, all you need to get into the system is a blood test, and some good volunteer gets you in the system. Sometimes you move quicker. Sometimes an old man is sitting there and he's not. And I hate when they abuse that.
How are the hospitals in the area?
You know what?
Generally speaking,
I like the nurses. I'm in love with all the nurses. Don't get this the wrong way. They are angels. I see them taking care of the sick, the way they change the bedpans, comfort them. But sometimes the treatment by the doctors or the emergency room is not good. You know, I'm unhappy.
Is it because of understaffed
Not understaffed.
situation? What's the problem? How you see it?
I think they're not. I think there is an understaffing in the evenings. I think that a lot of the bigger doctors are not getting paid properly, and the board of directors thinks that, well, we have to cut costs or we have to make this work. No. You have a hospital, you have to have the best care. That's why I'm going to the hospital. I'm not going to some backroom doctor in a dirty basement. I'm coming to the hospital where it's the best of the best. Whether I have my health insurance or not, whether I'm an illegal immigrant or not, this is where I'm coming to you to take care of me, not to let me sit on the streets and die and suffer. And
how will you improve that? I mean, how's the ER? If someone goes into the ER, how's the care there? Because that's kind of the face of the hospital to a certain extent.
We have a lot of patient reps that come in, and their job is to get you into the system. Once you're in the system, things start moving along. But sometimes if you don't get in the system or they forget about you laying there, then you can sit 4 or 5 days or 2 days in the emergency room.
Really?
And these young reps are very good when they first start. They're all anxious, they're excited, and then afterwards the passion runs away, or they fall into the melancholy or the day-to-day operations, or they understand understand death or they accept it. I don't. I've been in the hospitals for the last 23 years. I've been there seeing people die in front of my eyes. I've been there to take care of them and bring the soup to them. I've gone to people's houses who are mourning and seeing death, and I cry each and every time. It bothers me each and every time. We have a community that does so much good to our neighbors. We do so much chesed, it's called. We love one another. We take care of other people, the older people. We do Meals on Wheels programs. We have a program called Rodev Chesed that picks up people like an accessoride, but it's like a little hospital, and they don't charge. If you don't have money, they take you and they take you to the doctor. They take you to the hospital. They bring you back. These are organizations which are beautiful. We have an organization called Misaskin. It's an organization when somebody passes away. In the Jewish religion, you have to bury the person within 24 hours. So there's no time to think. You have to quickly get the plot in place, or if you have one or not, you have to get one in place. You have to prepare the people to come to the funeral to bury the person. You need a minyan, it's called, of 10 people. You have to set up the funeral. And then after the funeral, you have to go home and mourn it for 7 days. You have to sit in your house on a low chair and pray every day. And you need all the stuff to help you do it. The prayer books, the chairs. There's an organization, Misaskim, that doesn't charge. They don't want money. Yes, you give them donations. These guys, you can make a phone call. I promise you, within an hour or two, they're in your house with 3 or 4 special chairs, or if you have 7 of them. They bring the prayer books. They bring the charity boxes for people to donate money. They bring the Torah scroll, which are worth thousands of dollars, so you could use in your house. You never have to leave. This is an organization of chesed, and they don't only work in Borough Park. They're all over the place. We have another organization called Chaverim. Your car breaks down. You run out of gas. It could be 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I promise you.
What time?
You call this number, and they come running. They boost your car. They try to fix whatever they can. They do the best they can, and they're pretty good at what they do for the little things. They'll bring you gasoline. These are organizations of love. And you should see those guys. You think they're just guys who don't have jobs. These guys have serious jobs. Some of these guys are owners of big companies.
They volunteer their time 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day.
Wow.
Or they have different hours. And then we have, of course, the greatest organization that saves lives all day long, called the Hatzalah. They are faster than the ambulance. If somebody's having a heart attack or faints or gets sick, boom, you click on their number. They have people in every synagogue. They have people in every house. They have so many volunteers. Now there's a new one for women as well. And they're trained. They must be and you should see they're trained better than any EMT you can ever imagine. I know I have a couple of friends. They are lifesavers. I have a guy down the block. I know I'm going to embarrass him. His name is Yitzchak Milworm. I've called him so many times. He does not, every time I apologize to him, Yitzchak, it's 1 a.m, it's 3 p.m, I'm ripping you out of your job, your school, you're not. He does not, he says, shut up. This is my job. This is what I want to do. This is what I have to do. This is a man that you stand up, not dedication. You have to, you want to hug him on a daily basis.
Right.
The love that pours out of him. How many lives has he saved? I'm jealous. Yes, Ralph, I am jealous of guys like this who could do stuff that I can. That's why serving your community is not only running for office, it's doing the little things, volunteering in a youth center, going to serve somebody food, going to the nursing home and just sitting there and handing out packages. Every Saturday I walk to Flatbush. I walk from the hospital to the nursing home and then to visit a friend or 2 friends to make sure that whatever little issues they have is taken care of. I don't do much. But just peeking in on them or bringing them a package or a sandwich, just making sure that everything is good. These are the things of serving your community, tutoring somebody. I love when my son helps out a younger kid, tutoring him. I sit and watch it. I can't believe the kid has the patience. My son Heshy many years ago was taking care of an autistic child. I could never do that. My sister has Down syndrome, and I work with Down syndrome children. I love them, but autistic is very hard. And the patience that he had, the love that he showed this kid, the hours that he gave the parents that needed a break for 2-3 hours. And I said to him, Heshy, says, Todd, these people need a break. I said, but you can handle it? He says, Ty, even if I can't handle it, I'm going to fight through it. This is what I do. This is called serving your community, not just running for community service. I plan on working on after-hour programs for our children. I want to work on community youth programs, to have youth centers in my neighborhood. I want drug rehab. Everybody says there's no drug problem in my neighborhood. We have a serious drug problem. We have kids overdosing. We have kids hanging themselves. We have kids
why do
jumping
they
off
say
buildings.
are they in denial, these people? Why do they say there? Is it a black mark on the neighborhood? Is this the reason they don't accept it?
In any neighborhood, drugs,
So they
suicide is a black mark.
But what you see is it's more prevalent than they want to admit.
Yes, in the religious community, we try to sometimes shield our children from all these things. And when you overshield them and you think that it doesn't exist and they do end up doing it, it's bad and they do hurt themselves. You know, last year, like I told you, two girls killed themselves in the same family. Killed me. Mm. You know, a girl overdosing on drugs. I was in the hospital last week. Was it 2 weeks ago? A young man came in with an overdose. A beautiful, gorgeous, handsome man, and his twin is married. Unacceptable. Sure, they get depressed. Everybody says, well, they had to take medicine that nobody watched them. Incorrect. You have money issues. It's depression. You have a problem that your wife is leaving you because you can't feed her. She has to go empty your things. You want to kill yourself. You need guidance. You need phone calls. You know, we have women that have children, second, third one, even the first one, postpartum depression. You know, this is a very dangerous thing, and we didn't want to admit it. There's an organization called Sparks, but only one organization that helps this. These helps these women with doctors, medicine, psychological, to go to psychologists to help them out. Why do we only have one organization? Why isn't every synagogue have posters up to work on this? I met a young woman over the Sukkot holiday. I'm going to say her first name because I'm not sure she wants me to say the last name. Her name is Sharon from New Jersey. I promise you I was crying with her. She didn't tell me till towards one of our conversations. She says, Heshy, you know I lost a child. He says, no, I didn't know that because she has 3 beautiful grown children. And she says, my child at 12 years old was in a car accident, died. She wanted to do something for her. She said, I need to do something to serve my community, to make it better, to show that my beautiful little daughter that went to the hospital, she was telling me how this little 10-year-old forced her to take her to the hospital. She said, her mother says, well, I'm not taking you to become a volunteer. She ended up getting her passes, her volunteer things at 11 years old, at 12 years old. This girl was doing stuff that the way the mother was, excuse me, the way the mother was explaining to me, I can't do to this day. Some of these young children have vision and power that you can't believe if what she died in a car accident.
I have to mention before we go on, you know, if you want to go back and if you missed the programs prior to this one, you can go to Just Enough Heshy on YouTube and see them, because people have asked me, they weren't able to listen. So you're going to listen anytime, Just Enough Heshy. All of those programs. This is going back to his old program on a different station in 2015. You can go back and see them. But if you want to see the programs that we talked about, the issues that are coming up right now, the prior programs, go to Just Enough Heshy. You'll see the last 2 weeks we did that. The phone number here is 212-219-9695. You still have time for your question. We have a good 12 minutes. Go ahead.
So this young lady started something called, and it was interesting, called a bed and like bedding program. Mm-hmm. Wonderful idea.
Yep.
A lot of young couples get married who don't have parents, who don't have money, and people think that, they're getting married. They even found an apartment. What about furniture? Mm-hmm. Not every apartment comes with furniture. This lady makes sure that you get a bed, 2 beds, you get bedding for yourself. And you're talking, this is not cheap, $1,500 for bedding and towels and sheets. And then you need the beds themselves. This comes out to be money. She created this organization, this fund, and she has programs, and she has events to make more money. But how did you come up with this idea that these couples need it? These are the kind of people to serve your community. It doesn't have to be something great idea. This is, if it happens to be, this is a super great idea that people actually who get married have nowhere to sleep. This is an idea how to get them places.
Right.
And you go to your rabbi, he writes a letter, he sends it to her, and she helps you from beginning to end. And she doesn't even force you into buying. You go out and tell me what you want, and she says,
that is really tremendous.
These are people this is called serving your community.
Beautiful.
And these are the things that I want to do. I have so many different ideas, ladies and gentlemen, and how I'm going to implement it. They're good ideas. These are ideas that my competitors are listening to do, and they're trying to maybe improve on it, maybe steal a part of it. I don't care. I want them to. I want my ideas implemented one way or another, but I'm not willing to wait 4 years or 5 years or 7 years. I want it now. Tomorrow morning is where we have to wake up. We have to roll our sleeves up, get dirty, and make our community better. And don't tell me I have to go to the city council and get the money. There are millions of dollars being passed out. Every councilman gets $1 million right off the top of the bat to hand out to different organizations. Use it properly. You see that he can have parks built for $3 million, $4 million for a bathroom. Happens to be the bathroom wasn't working so well. I promise you, on the holiday weekend, people were complaining that the $3 million bathroom wasn't working. We have kosher, we have lunch programs. How come that we don't have kosher lunch programs? Why are schools not getting these free lunch programs for our children? It's not hard. It's not complicated to go into the maze. The program is there. There are so many programs that exist. All you have to do is tweak it.
So there's not a lunch program for the folks in your community?
There's no.
Now, why is that?
Not by the city, regulated for the schools, a kosher program. It's a non-kosher program, which we can get, we can make it kosher. It's there. All you have to do is tweak the program a little bit. And I don't know why it's not there. And I don't know why I'm giving my son every single day $10, $12.
Has that been an issue?
It is an issue.
I mean, have we been talking about that through the years and nothing's been done?
It's not. They're trying to do something about it, but nothing has been trying to do something, not getting it accomplished is a zero for me.
Yeah.
That is a zero. Working on alternate sides of pre-park. Yes, David Greenfield, you're collecting food for Puerto Rico. But that trailer's sitting there for a month. I'm sorry. Those people are hungry, tired, sleeping in cars. If you look at the newspapers, why is that trailer still sitting there? Forget that you're taking up 2 of my parking spots that I'm upset about because I live only a block and a half away and I need that spot for me. Get that trailer out of there. I want to park over there. I am upset. These issues upset me. You can scream and holler that, Heshy, hey, you've been around a long time. We don't want you for the job. Maybe we don't like your past. I've answered my questions on my past. I've served my community. I've done good. I've tried. I've made mistakes. And I promise you, I've made lots of mistakes. I've insulted people. I've hurt people, I guess. I think I'm liked and loved by many. I don't know what to tell you. I apologize. I constantly apologize. And again, like I started this show, I wake up in the morning, the same prayer that I taught my children, and I'm going to teach it to my grandchildren. Moida ani lefanecha. It's a whole prayer. I'm not going to say it out loud. There's no God's name in it, but I can say it. Thank you. I'm going to say it in English. Thank you, God, for giving me back my soul. Not only giving me back my soul, trusting me, again, having faith that you think I'm going to do the right thing when you know most likely I'm going to mess up. I try. Sometimes I look back at my days and I say, wow, I didn't do what I promised to do. I didn't accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish. Oh, I was lazy today, I spent that extra $14 on a pack of cigarettes, which my kids are not happy about, when I could have done something better with that money, could have fed somebody with that money. I have a...
Are you going to promise me you're going to try to stop smoking?
Oh, that...
Are you telling me that cigarettes cost $14 a pack?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to tell you that.
Oh, my goodness.
And yes, Heshy has a problem, and I'm going to quit. Now, my children are laughing. Most probably they're listening to the show.
Yeah, they're giggling in there.
They might be giggling. He did shave his beard off. So
you've said this before, though. So.
I guarantee that I am going to show you the willpower. But again, I mess up, and you never know what happens. I can't promise you, but I can promise you today. Today is the day that I'm going to work. There are a million tomorrows, but there's only one today. And I'm going to work on today. I'm going to work on my community today. I'm going to work on my friends today. I'm going to start these programs. I'm going to put in private community groups to watch my developers and contractors. I want to watch the police. I want to send up independent groups to create new jobs, to give me ideas, to teach me how to do housing. Hey, I want to work on this alternate side of the street parking problem. Important. I've come up with ideas. I came up with a 3-point plan on how to do it. And if somebody has a better idea, somebody can show me how to do it better, tweak my idea, I'm going to make it happen. And this parking idea is number one. The first thing I'm going to get in there is I'm going to make them stop giving tickets. So when a guy tells me, Heshy, if they stop giving tickets, there's no more revenue for the city. Let me tell you something. First of all, there's going to be revenue. All you have to do is add $100 registration fee to a car. I know it's wrong, but if you add on to all the hundreds and thousands of cars that we have in the city of New York, you right there covered your costs. Now you could use these little traffic people to move traffic along. So you're stopping congestion. You're not causing people to waste. You know how many hours they're saying are wasted in congestion, that people are losing time to get to work? One guy came up with an idea. Let's ban all cars from Borough Park and take the MTA, or we'll give you little trolleys all around. Unacceptable. I want my cars to move around. I want people to pick up their mothers and sisters and drop off the shopping, but I want the congestion to flow.
But what a way to spend your time in the stupid car, hours and hours. If you tally up all the time you spend during the month or during the year in a stupid car, what can we do? I mean, the congestion in New York is tremendous. Now, tell me something. If you go to point A to point B in your neighborhood, what's the holdup? What's the reason? What's the main reason?
We have, I'll tell you simply. First of all, we have the double parking. Then you have the truck deliveries who have to double or triple park because everybody else is double parked. So if we would have people parking in a separate municipal lot and just having them go into the loading zones, don't only have loading
Did you
zones.
get that done?
Yes, I told you about this. I have a lot on 19th to 20th Avenue they want to give away. Don't give it away. Let's make it for a parking lot. Let's create
It's a real nuts and bolts issue that'll get you elected.
So you're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 spots. I'm taking right off on a daily basis. I'm not talking night parking. Then I take all the buses that take hundreds of parking spots, and this is how I show. Park it in the lot this so at nighttime everybody has a place to park. So right here, I've created an easier flow of traffic. Having these traffic cops stopping traffic and double parking themselves to give tickets cause us congestion.
All right, we're running out of time. Let's try to get this call in. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Anthony, and I was just wondering how Heshy Tischler's plans were going to affect the borough's tax system and taxes for us.
I'm sorry, say that again, the tax system.
Anthony, the tax system, how it's going to affect, how his plan's going to affect the tax system, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just how are his ideas going to affect my taxes?
Okay, number one, I can't work on income tax or but you're looking at property taxes. I believe that the way and I believe that we should talk to the city council because there's a city taxes. You know, the Department of Finance doesn't really understand how to tax somebody's house. They walk by the house and if they think that it's a 3-family, I have a guy now who lives in a 1-family house is being taxed as a 3-family house. We need to overhaul the Department of Finance over here saying, listen, these are not 3-family houses. Don't tell me that you're driving by somebody's house and you're saying, well, somebody is using his basement now, it's an extra thing, let's raise his taxes. I believe that we should look over the way the Department of Finance runs property taxes, the way they raise the taxes. You know, Yoni Heiken came up with an idea of 421A tax abatement for new properties. What about the people who are paying now $10,000, $12,000? What about the people who are paying the water bills, which is really a tax because water should be free. It was many years old just to pay a frontage. Now we're having water meters that are running that are not even running correctly. And if they break, you don't pay your water bill now. They can shut off your water. That's a new thing that's coming out. Unacceptable. How do we monitor this? It's very hard to monitor it. I'd like to go back to the frontage system that everybody pays a certain amount based on the frontage. You're right. People will use more water or less water. We need to look over the Department of Finance, the way they run their houses. I do like to look into the tax abatements for the new builders and the new developers so that we should have, but it shouldn't run out after 20 years or 25 years. I have people now with their tax abatements running out on their condos and their taxes have quadrupled. I'm sorry, even have gone higher. Unacceptable, ridiculous.
All right, we're down to a minute. I'll be back for the 8 o'clock hour, by the way. Don't go anywhere. Finish off anything that's on your mind. Just leave the people with some thoughts they can ponder till next Monday.
Well, November 7th is coming, guys. Go out and register. Remember something, that I am here for you. You can ask me questions. You can go to my Twitter site. You can go to my Facebook site, Just Enough Heshy or Harold Tischler. I want you to be ready for me. I want you to know that on November the 8th, I don't take office till January, but on November the 8th, I'll be ready creating my staff, creating people, getting ready to warn my community board and commissioners and looking into the zoning regulations, because this is where I'm an expert, to change zoning where I can create more housing for you in the future. Figure out a way that our property values and our houses won't be taken away from us. Be ready for Heshy Tischler. Vote Harold Tischler on November 7th. And I'm going to again tell you one more thing. My promise is the social contract with my community. I know we have other neighborhoods in New York City. I know other people, and I will cooperate with them. I am here for you, my community. I'm not going to be experimenting with your lives. Thank you, everybody. I hope you had a great holiday Yom Tov weekend. And tomorrow morning when you say Modani, thanking God for your soul.
Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with you.
Ralph, I love you. Handsome, and come to the...
This is AM.